Here it is.
Great.
Yeah, well, we did quite a bit. We read Sri Aurobindo's, and there is more for you to read. If you want to know more, you can also look by yourself into these numbers. They are symbolic because they are symbolic, and Sri Aurobindo explains why. 49, 1 is 100, is a fullness, but the fullness from one particular point of view. Fullness from the infinite point of view will be 1,000. Yeah, from hundreds is more indicative of our how to say mental perception, or defining planes of consciousness and being on each level. When we do define this, then we will come to 100, because 7 times 7 is a mental kind of distinction. Yeah? Distinctions of planes of consciousness by the mind. And that generates this idea of 100 as infinity viewed from the point of the mind. But when it is going into the infinity, where the mind is not dominating the view, then it will be 1,000. When it is 10, it's totally mental, reduced mental, so to say, where the definitions are for the embodied mind or for the reason. And this also is in somehow the infinity, because 10 sisters or 10 mental principles, 10 fingers, they are actually the 10 sephiroths of a Kabbalistic system. Is the tree of life, yeah? Which covers everything from the top to the bottom, from the crown to the kingdom. From the crown to the kingdom, all the points are covered within 10. And this is a particular view which is more making it more kind of applicable to our everyday conception of things. 100 is much more difficult because we do not think in those terms and do not operate by that complexity, 7 times 7. And 1,000 is not reachable to the mind. It's going beyond the mind. If you will, yeah, if we want to define these three numbers. You can think by yourself about it. There's much to be discovered. Much more than I said. I'm just telling you something which I discovered from this. And because Sri Aurobindo explained that if Sri Aurobindo would not do this, we would not be able to even comprehend what it is about. 10th, 100, and 1,000. Sometimes they speak of 10 hundreds, or they speak about 10,000. Yeah, the 10,000s of his plenitude. It's also a very interesting definition, because 10 is operational for our mind, but on each of these levels there are infinities. Yes, so it implies a perception which is very meaningful to the rishis. They immediately understand what it is about. I hope I didn't confuse you. All right. I will start with the mantra. Om Vang me manasi pratisthita mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravirma edhi Vedasyama anisthaha shrutam me ma prahasihi anenadhitena horatran samdadhami Ritam vadishyami, satyam vadishyami, tanmamavatu, tadvaktaramavatu, avatu mam, avatu vaktaram, avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Protect the speaker. Protect me, protect the speaker. The speaker is the one who expresses the higher truth. He needs protection, he needs nourishment, he needs fulfillment by the word. The word itself fulfills him and fills him with the truth, and he can express it. This vision implies that we do not live for ourselves. We live for the divine, and for the divine self-expression here. This is the purpose and the meaning of our life, not to live for ourselves and for our own fulfillment. Yeah? We are living for the divine and its self-expression. And that will fulfill us, and that will make us realized. Actually, this is all about that question, what this yoga is about and what it is for, yes, as Mother says. If you want to do this yoga for humanity or for the power or for knowledge or for being yogin, it's not enough. You have to do it for the divine. And then things happen. You live for the divine. You work for the divine. You are invoking that highest self-expression of the divine. And that fulfills you. That is making you realized. That kind of justifies your being born here. Yes? Otherwise, there is no justification in this life. So here we are, number 9. Tuvam Agni Pitaram Ishtibhich Narach, Tuvam Bhratraya Shamiyata Nurucham. Tuvam Putro Bhavasi Asti Avidhat Tuvam Sakhash Susheva Pasi Adhrishach. O fire, men worship thee with their sacrifices as a father, and thee that thou mayst be their brother by their achievement of works, when thou illuminest the body with thy light. Thou becomest a son to the man who worships thee. Thou art his blissful friend, and guardest him from the violence of the adversary. So the men worship thee with their sacrifices as the Father. That thou mayst be their brother by their achievement. So we're going on the ladder down, yes, from the father to the brother, and then we come to the son. You become the son of the one who worships thee. Interestingly, worships thee again, Avidhat, who actually establishes you in every context of his life. So it means worshiping. Yes, worshiping means putting in all the details of your activities and life and thought and feeling. And so the one who does that, for him you become his son. So you kind of reproduce him, everywhere in all activities, in all contexts, environment of your life. And you're Sakha, and for the last one, you are the friend, or the one who companion who walks with you the same, who shares with you the same space. Literally, sakha is space, sa of the same space, who shares with you the same house, the same environment, lives with you, walks with you on the path. Susheva, blissful, or blessed companion, protecting, you are protecting Pasi Adharshach from the adversary. So we see interesting gradation here from Pita, the father, whom the heroic souls, I have my own interpretation, to you as their father, or Agni, the heroic powers of the soul, Narach. I'm taking this from another translation by Sri Aurobindo. He's using this for Nara. The heroic powers of the soul with their sacrificial aspirations go. They go to you. You who is extended in time and space as light, Tanurucham, literally whose body is light, literally body light, but body is an extension from Rutan to spread, whose spreading is the luminous light. They worship in their labor, Shamya. Shami is labor, for the brotherhood, Bharatraya. Interestingly, if we analyze this, Pitri, Bhratri, Putra, these words, from the etymological points of view, Bhratri etymologically is unclear, and it is even written in all the dictionaries, it's doubtful, possibly from Bhara or Bhari, to bear the burden, meaning to share responsibility, to bear the same burden, to carry forward. We can compare them with other relatives' names, like Matri is the mother, is from root ma, to shape, to form the form, yes, to create, creatrix. Matri is the one who creates the form. Tri is the suffix of the doer, the same doer, giver, yes. Matri, Pitri. Pitri, interesting word, is most probably from root pa, weak form, to fill, to protect. It's protected by filling, by occupying, by making everything packed with presence or consciousness. So he is the one who is the protector. Matri is the creatrix. Duhitri, another word for the daughter. The same etymology in English. Duhitri, daugter. Yes, it's duh from root duh. It is a milker, literally, because in the Aryan family, daughter was the milker. She was milking cows. So she is Duhitri, the milker. And even now we say daughter, and we do not know why daughter is daughter, but daughter is a milker, milking cows, etymologically. We have dugdham from here, yes? Dugd. He. Dugd he. So Bharatri could be the one who bears together with other siblings the burden or the responsibility or the environment, holds the ground, the bearer. So I'm just saying, so with the work, with the effort, he whose body is, whose extension is light. we want him to be for the brotherhood, to carry with us responsibility of our life. First, he is the father, then we want him to be a brother. Then, when we worship him, implying him everywhere in our life, he becomes our son. And then we ask him to stay the Sakha, the one who shares with us all the environment, shares the same space as a friend, companion, blessed companion, protecting us from adversity. Makes sense?
Vladimir, Vladimir, I'm a little confused here. The reason being, why these relationships? First, he is worshipped as a father. Then why would we want him to become a brother, and then a son, and then a friend? I mean, why this sequence, firstly? And secondly, why are we establishing this relationship in this different manner in different areas of our life? I didn't get it.
Yeah. Maybe somebody else has some thoughts on this. You kind of refresh, because I will go into the same groove, and that would be
brotherhood by works, and becomes a son to the man who worships thee. But right in the beginning, he said, men who worship thee with their sacrifice as a father. So from father, now he's become a son, and then a friend. I didn't understand these different relationships, how it transforms.
Right. Well, you rightly pointed out to the verbs, or to the indications how. Yeah, so by the worshipping Ishti, Ishti is actually sacrifices, from root yaj. Also, it has the meaning of desire, aspirations. By aspirations, so to say, they approach the Father, you as the Father. We call you as our Father by our aspirations, by our sacrifices, by our offerings, and by our, yes, wanting to change. And then by our workings, labor, activities, we approach you for the brotherhood. We want you not to stay the Father. We want you to share with us our responsibilities, our burdens. Can you do this for us? We are working hard here to manifest the divine, and we want you to be co-worker with us, if you will. And by redistributing you all over your presence, if you are co-worker with us, you become our son, because through us, we manifest you in the surrounding context of our life. So it is through us you get your birth here. Yeah, we ignite you in all different activities in our life. And then please stay as a blessed companion always in whatever spaces we are. Share with us the same space and protect us from adversity. I think I repeated myself again, but I see the hierarchy. It's very subtle. Yeah, from aspiring to the Father, as to the Father, and wanting Him to share the responsibilities in our life, because His extension is light. So why don't you extend your light onto our activities? And by our activities, we approach you for the brotherhood. And then by redistributing you in all the context of our lives, we make you our son. By the way, this thinking is very typical for Rig Veda. and very confusing for people who operate by these relative names as if they are fixed in a particular relations. Yeah? They are still functional in the Rig Veda. Mother, father, brother, son, these are not human relations. Yeah? Like we have in Christianity, father and son. Yeah? So there is the Father, only through me, through his Son, you can come to my Father. What does it really mean? It's a very good, actually, opening to this. Putra is the embodied or the spark of the flame. Yeah? The flame is the Father. Putra is the spark, which separated itself from the flame substance and acts already separately as he is individual formation. Yeah? He ignites new flames everywhere. So this is Putra. Pita is that luminous power, purity of the divine. And Bharata is the one who bears with us from Rudbari the same responsibilities, work to be done in this manifestation for the divine. He actually agrees to work with us. He agrees to help us out, or we agree to help him out, and we become closely related. And through us, he is manifested as the Son of the Father. It is through us that the divine is spreading its presence in the world, through human beings, through the souls. And then he becomes Sakha, the one who follows us everywhere. It's the highest, most probably, realization.
Yeah. Now I understand. It's like we are not to see it as a relationship like we consider worldly relationships of father and son, but these are energies.
Yeah.
And they are very subtle energies that express in particular ways our relationship with the divine in different areas of our life.
Right.
And the last one being the best, the blissful friend who
Yes.
protects the adversary. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I feel as we evolve, we change also. Like we start with aspiration and ultimately we.
Yes,
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. Thank you, Nidhi.
yeah. So it shows us every aspect of our being, how it can symbolically be this. The father, the brother, as we look upon it, the father is always above the brother, the responsibility and burden that we share as brother and sisters, and then the son, and then finally the friend who is always with you all the time, holding your hand, being joyful, protecting everything.
Yeah. He becomes the son to a man who actually manifests him. And it is true, because man manifests him, now he becomes to him the son, yeah, so to say. Sri Aurobindo doesn't emphasize this, but since we wanted to dig into, but here also is very visible, O fire, men worship thee with their sacrifices as their father, and thee that thou mayst be. Yeah? So they worship you with the sacrifices of the Father, that thou mayst be their brother by the achievement of works. So it's the same idea. So first, the Father cannot be the brother. He stays there always pure, divine. Yeah? But he can reach out, leap out, and take part in our achievements, illumining our body with his light. He can do that, and so we call to him for this. And then when he does this, we generate the flames and sparks. It goes through us. We express the divine. This, Vaktaram Avatu, fulfill the speaker, the one who expresses the divine. And then he becomes the sun, because you generate the truth, or truth is generated through you. You become the generator of the truth, as it were. And then it is settled. So he is everywhere. Wherever you go, he shares with you the same environment and space. Great. So we take number 10.
It's a beautiful verse, actually.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful verse if we meditate on that, how it grows and changes and evolves.
Yeah. And I noticed that if we are in a hurry to translate, we miss that kind of depth of what Rishi wants to put into it. He puts much more than we can really comprehend. But if we dwell a little longer, not in a hurry, that once in a while the glimpse comes. And here another one. Tuvam Agni Ribhuch Ake Namasyach, Tuvam Vajasya Kshumato Rayach Ishishe. Tvam Vajasya Kshumato Raya Ishishe. Tuvam Vibhasi Anudakshi Davane. Tuvam Vishikshuch Asi Yajnam Atanich. O fire, thou art the craftsman Ribhu, near to us and to be worshipped with obeisance of surrender. Thou hast mastery over the store of the plenitude and the riches. All thy wide shining of light and onward burning is for the gift of the treasure. Thou art our instructor in wisdom and our builder of sacrifice. Interesting, these sentences. All thy wide shining of light. Wide shining of light. Sri Aurobindo is not afraid to put too much luminosity into the... And onwards burning for the gift of the treasure. So it's shining from every corner. Burning, shining light and treasure at the end. So also shining. This is something which is in that consciousness of the Rishi. He has this, yeah. He cannot say otherwise about it. So I will go through my interpretation and then come to the text. O Agni, you are Ribhu, to whom we shall surrender. You are the Lord of plenitude and of substantial riches. You are shining wide, flame high. This is verb, flame high for the bestowing of the riches. For you are the one who is willing all. For you are capable of all realizations. For you extend the sacrificial transformation in time and space. I was more literal, following the literal translation. Sri Aurobindo packed it already into the English language. Tuvam, you, O Agni, Tvam Agni, Ribhu, Ake, near. Ake is close, near. I put here the verbs which are near. Strange words, anch, from anch, turn onto. Your Ribhu onto, who is to be, to whom we shall surrender, Namasyach. who is to be worshipped with obeisance of surrender, who is to be approached with surrender, with nama. It's future participle, a passive voice. So you, huh?
Who is Ribhu?
Yes. Ribhus are, we will look into it. Ribhus are artisans. These are the powers which made our evolution possible. Those powers in a human being which realized immortality. And there are three Ribhus, three brothers. And these three brothers follow Tvashtar. We spoke about them before when we spoke on Tvashtri, no?
Yes.
Tvashtar was the first who created, first godhead, Aditya, who created the ladle, physical form, which could contain the soma, immortality. That means he created animated matter, most probably. Matter which can hold immortality. How matter holds immortality in time and space? It is through progeny, through seeds. This is the way, the only way how immortality can be kept, held within the mortality, within the absence of consciousness, through progeny. So he created this ladle, first form, first, let us say, first cell, amoeba, Tvashtar, not Ribhus. But Ribhus continued the work. And from the physical form, they created the holder of soma in the vital. This is the first Ribhu. The second son, Vibhu, or second brother of these three. Vibhu created the pervasiveness in the mind, which can hold now the delight of immortality. And there is also Vaja, the last one, the youngest, and he is holding overmental soma, created the form to hold soma on the overmental level, or let us say supramental. So we see physical Tvashtar, vital, Ribhu, mental, Vibhu, and overmental. I would say overmental, not to be mistaken, the supramental or overmental, Vaja, plenitude. So all of these words have meanings, of course. Actually, Sri Aurobindo has here, I took the passage from his Secret of the Veda. If you want, it's a very short passage. The Ribhus, it has been suggested, are rays of the sun. And it is true that like Varuna, Mitra, Bhaga, and Daryaman, they are powers of the solar light, the truth. But their special character in the Veda is that they are artisans of immortality. Artisans, interesting word. They are represented as human beings who have attained to the condition of Godhead by power of knowledge and perfection in their works. Their function is to aid Indra in raising man towards the same state of divine light and bliss, which they themselves have earned as their own divine privilege. By the way, they are invited to the Soma sacrifices together with gods, Ribhus. And this is the highest privilege. The hymns addressed to them in the Veda are few and to the first glance exceedingly enigmatic, for they are full of certain figures and symbols always repeated. But once the principal clues of the Veda are known, they become, on the contrary, exceedingly clear and simple, and present a coherent and interesting idea which sheds a clear light on the Vedic gospel of immortality. The Ribhus are powers of the light who have descended into matter and are there born as human faculties, aspiring to become divine and immortal. This is the key, actually. Ribhus are powers of the light that have descended into matter and are there born as human faculties, aspiring to become divine and immortal. In this character, they are called children of Sudhanvan. Sudhanvan is the perfect desert. A patronymic name is merely a parable of their birth from the full capacity of matter touched by the luminous energy. So that's why Su, perfect, and Dhanvan is the desert or matter which is perfected by the light or influenced by light.
This would be pure matter?
It is transformed matter influenced by the spirit, not yet pure, no. But in their real nature, they are descended from this luminous energy, and are sometimes so addressed, offspring of Indra, grandsons of luminous force. For Indra, the divine mind in man, is born out of luminous force, as is Agni, out of pure force. And from Indra, the divine mind, spring the divine aspirations after immortality. The names of three Ribhus are, in the order of their birth, Ribhu or Ribhukshvan, the skillful knower and the shaper in knowledge. This is the one who shapes the vital formations, which can hold the immortality, Soma. Vibhva or Vibhu, the pervading one, the self-diffusing. It is the one who deals on the mental level. And Vaja, the plenitude. Their names indicate their special nature and function, but they are really a trinity. And therefore, although usually termed the Ribhus, they are also called the Vibhus or the Vajas. Ribhu, the eldest is the first in man who begins to shape by his thoughts and works the forms of immortality. Vibhava gives pervasiveness to his working. Vaja, the youngest, supplies the plenitude of the divine light and substance by which the complete work can be done. These works are formations of immortality they effect. It is continually repeated by the force of thought, capital T, that means supramental thought, or Indra's influence in this case, with the mind fulfilled and material. They are done with power. They are attended by a perfection in the creative and effective act. Suapasyaya, sukrityaya, which is the condition of the working out of immortality. These formations of artisans of, otherwise typified as the hill or rock, out of which the waters and the rays are delivered. So they are working on our material form, which was created by Tvashtar, which can hold immortality in the form of progeny, in the form of living matter, but then they have to work out more conditions, and create possibilities of immortal, vital, immortal, mental, immortal, over mental being. Based on material frame, again, which was never done. This is an evolutionary process. You know? They are evolutionary beings which involved themselves into matter in order to aspire man to reach to immortality on each level. What it makes me think is this, what Mother did with her body. She was working on the immortality of her physical body, very close to this idea of the Veda. And she created the vital immortal body and mental immortal body. And I think these immortal bodies on the vital and mental plane are exactly of these two ones, yeah? Of Ribhu and Vibhu. And she was working on the supramental manifestation body, and that was Vaja, the planet-eared. And once all these bodies are formed, the Tvashtri, the body of the physical, becomes immortal. That's why supramental manifestation was so important, yes? This Vaja. If Vaja would take place, if supramental body would be finished, then the physical would change. So it's a mysterious kind of way of talking about these three ribhus as artisans of immortality on the evolutionary scale. You see how little we know about ourselves and how far Vedic rishis went. Sri Aurobindo somewhere says that even he, with his studies of the Veda, he only scratched the surface and took the easiest part, the most visible part of this knowledge. And there is much more behind, waiting to be discovered. All right. If you have any questions, of course you may have, or clarifications or want to share something, please go ahead.
So
Yeah, go
Agni,
ahead.
so Agni is also Ribhu.
Yes.
Power.
Yeah,
That's
of course.
what yes.
Who else is Ribhu if not Agni? Yes.
Transformative. Yes.
Yeah. Agni is immortal among mortals. It is him who builds the immortality for us on each level. Well, if Agni is all the godheads mentioned before, Vishnu, Rudra, Shiva, just name it, yeah? Ashvins, Varuna, Mitra, Aryaman, Bhaga. So why not Ribhus?
Yes.
So there is so much more to know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So much more that we don't know anything.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't even know that such thing exists. Yeah.
Yes.
Not to say, even mentally, we do not know. We cannot even name it.
Why were we made so ignorant?
Well, why?
Give me one answer why.
Tell me why.
I want to know why were we, if we have the divine in us and we know our purpose, some little ray should have been there. Something. Why are we so?
We are ignorant because of the Leela, the play, I think.
Yeah, that's
He-
very easy to say, but
He enjoys
we
us
want
coming
to
out
know.
of the darkness.
I want to know what is. There's so many possibilities in us, so many capabilities in us, so much inside this body and mind.
Oh, yeah.
And yet we are so blind.
So blind and stupid and live such a small life.
Okay.
Beating around the bush, the same routes we are going every day.
Yes. And then we just die.
And then we die uselessly. Yes, absolutely.
And then we are born again, same old ignorant self, to fall flat on the face again and again and again. This has to stop.
Yeah. Or we have to start to be conscious of what is going on rather than this has to stop. Advaitic has to stop. Um, we have to continue to become more conscious. Yes. Ribhus are working in us. Can you imagine we would build vital and mental immortal bodies? What it would mean? That in the next life you would remember everything. You would know who you are, what you are here to do. It's a totally new level of engagement with manifestation. But one thing we have to accept that we live here for the divine manifestation. And then things become easier for us. Because
yeah.
huh? Yes, Anna.
So maybe it's also we are given the opportunity to participate in stories like Krishna is the brother of all his cowboys, and this is the story that you have to live through to get to this headline, God is the brother. But you have to live through, being a cowherd boy, to understand that. You have to be, Radhead to be able to appreciate the headline, like, oh, God is also a lover. So we have to live through the stories that are headlines. Now I see like Rigved as a headline. Like, why is that? Why is he saying that? Oh, because maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, there's another text where the story, why is that, is following, like Bhagavad Gita, or, I don't know. That's
I think it's maybe other way around. These stories come from this deeper kind of divine foundation of all possible relations, which later are embodied in the mythological stories in our life, that we call him a father. I was thinking the other day, look how interesting. I remember my father and mother, they are no more. I'm so attached to them. I love them so much. And then in next reincarnation, I will have totally different father and mother. So I was thinking about this because what is happening here? So this particular lineage of Petris, in this lifetime, yes, I would go and kind of worship Petris, this lineage, this particular nationality, this particular country, fight, language, understanding, this what I got. You got Bengali, I got Ukrainian. These are the temporarily events for my soul journey. And I'm invoking those Petris of those Ukrainians to win the battle, and next time I will be invoking different Petris to win the battle. So what I want to say is very simple, actually, that we all work for the universal fulfillment. This time I'm invoking these Petris for the fulfillment, and my soul is participating in it, building this lineage. Next time I will be born into another family and will invoke other Petris, building their lineage. And every one of us is doing this. We are building simultaneously many lineages from incarnation to incarnation. And that's how we are growing together as a group soul. As a human unity concept is coming from here. We are all working for all. You're working for me, I'm working for you, though, in different peoples, in different formations, in different countries, in different nations, cultures, and still we are working for the same aim. Amazing, just to think where human unity is coming in, you know. Because it can't be that I'm only this or forever. Yeah. And not only now, it's even more difficult because even sex is changing. Yeah? Mother says that nature started to change sex from male to female very often, mixing up things. Yeah? Because the nature is kind of confused. It wants to create sexless being because of the presence of the supermind already pressing it. And the psychic being is sexless. It is it. It's a child. It's not male or female. So nature starts making mistakes, bewildered, doesn't know where to go. So it starts kind of anticipating the future and create such a mess. It's kind of interesting thoughts on this reincarnation in our group soul and where this brother father comes from. If we see this hierarchy, it's amazing. Why I'm saying that it is often in the Veda, this, because there is another very confusing passage of Daksha and Aditi and Usha. So the mother and the father generate the daughter who is marrying the father, because, you know, but it has nothing to do with father, mother marrying daughter. It's father is not marrying daughter in this in the human society, and that was the confusion which was severely criticized. But what happened there, Aditi, through the Lord of the supermind, made a projection of herself as Savitri or as Dakshina, as the luminous Usha, dawn. And she, for example, she has a son, Agni. Agni approaches her as a son, and then he becomes her husband, her lord. So how come that mother marries the son? Yeah. So I want to say that this is a common thinking in the Veda. They do not think in terms of human relations. They use them because they are indicative of something. Yeah? But for them, it plays this archetypal role, or let us say, spiritual meaning. It has a spiritual meaning. Yeah? It just shows the relation between the two. So the son becomes the husband. The prince becomes the king. Yeah, so it's normal. Prince becomes the king. So, and the mother is the same, who becomes his wife. So
in the
Savitri.
West, sorry to interrupt, but a thought just crossed my mind. In Western psychology, this is something like the Oedipus complex.
Yeah. They build on it the whole theory of Rig Veda. Yes, that this was barbaric society.
Yes.
And so on, but they can't think otherwise. Very narrow mental thinking. But if you think linguistically, that's what I tried here, with brother as the one who carries with you the burden, yeah, with Bhri root. When we look into the roots, we will see the functionality of each of these formations. And since everything is the divine, so there are different names to show different function. Yeah. The same with the names of the gods. Absolutely the same. Indra, the one who splits this, Vishnu, the one who holds two in one, and so on. You will see the functionality of the divine. Yeah? In the name. Name will give you a hint. When in the Kena Upanishad they found out that it was Brahman, they stopped asking because Brahman told them everything. Tell me your name and I would know who you are. Why? Why it is so? Because in the name there is a functionality of the divine. So Brahman is the one who expands, who grows. So once they knew that, they knew everything. What is there to know about Brahman? There's nothing else to know. Everything is in the name. That's why names were secret. Secret names. Nini Avachansi. Even now in this society, you have several names in Indian society, no? You have secret names for inner, internal use and external use. Even now.
When you're initiated, also you're given a secret name.
Yes. One more name to keep, by which you will be cognized or by which you will be addressed in those inner relations. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, we can stop here. Some other thoughts? Kinshuk is silent, so maybe he has some thoughts.
Yeah, about, I'll just take very little time. So basically about this father, brother, son and friend, I was thinking in terms of the subconscious approaching the conscious mind. And the conscious mind initially would look at the subconscious as something very big or luminous as father. And then there is this word samya, which is very interesting because it kind of implies a mirroring or a mimicking of the subconscious by the conscious. So there is this from father, there's a brother relationship. And then the subconscious is born within the conscious mind in its own new form. And then after that, they share the same space and become the same thing. So I was thinking of it from this point of view. I don't know how
Interesting.
correct is that.
It's mirroring the bottom up, so to say, instead of from the heaven down, we move from the inconscient through subconscient up. And in a way, it should be mirrored in the same way, because
Yeah,
Peter
because
is
brother
not
implies a kind of mirroring. I mean, mimicking. I'm trying to mimic, let's say Agni, who by my actions or something.
interesting.
I'm kind of worried about this word samya. What does it mean? Balanced or
Shami,
similar?
here it is. Shami, effort, labor, toil. It's not same. It's
Oh, it's
Shami.
not same.
Actually, Sham root is interesting root from which Shanti is produced as peace. It has a meaning also of work, yeah, and being exhausted. From here, Shram, there is another word, Shram, Shramyati, Shranti, to be exhausted, to be. So,
Okay. I understood it wrongly. Okay.
no problem. It is not wrongly. It's interestingly, that brother is someone like a sibling, who is always here, like you in a different form.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it's not putra. Putra is dependent. You are the generator, and father is generating you. So the brother is that middle ground. Yeah, it's very interesting thought, in between father and son, there is
Yeah.
brother.
Yes. Kinshuk, I had a quick question for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I really
What?
liked your analogy about the subconscious thing.
Yeah.
It was beautiful comparison. So you said, let me just repeat it to you so I know that I understood it correctly. So the father is the subconscious.
Yes. When you're looking at it from the perspective of the conscious mind, because
Correct.
that is all we have at this point in time.
Correct.
We would look at the subconscious as the father and the generator of everything that we have.
Correct.
That's what I
And
meant.
therefore, when in this verse he says, "O fire, men worship thee with their sacrifices as a father," the men are already indicative of a conscious force.
Yes, that's what I meant, really. That's what
Okay,
I thought.
got it. Thank you. That was my question. Thank you very much. I think it's beautiful. You really nailed it at another level. Thank you.
Yeah. Subconscious is also the universal something, yeah, which is not, in that sense, of course, if we take Freudian view, there is no superconscious. Yeah? So basically, it's all coming from elsewhere, from subconscious. But we operate by superconscious, yeah, which is actually totally fitting into this subconscious view. So in a way, either it is, but it is, again, it's universal, it is super, yeah, away from us, it's higher or wider, or it's like archetypal for us, or something which defines us. And then it becomes closer to us because it's reflected in our life. It's like our brother, become closer to us, be part of our environment, and then we can generate, we can turn into the Father. Great. Actually, even more interesting thing that these four are purely reflecting, and now it comes, since we are dwelling on it longer, it will gather more information. It reflects these four major streams of minor tarot. Some of you may know major and minor. Minor tarot has the clubs, the cups, yeah, the spades, and the rubies or whatever, the diamonds. So these four, look at them. It's amazing because the first one is the Father is the will, the creator. Then there's something coming, which is the mother, and this is the brother. Yeah? The mother already has to kind of take the father's influence or presence into the environment, yeah, build it here. Then there comes the son, because between the two, and finally the diamonds, which generates the environment. Those of you who studied occultism, they will see a very interesting parallel here of thinking, coming from the will to the embodiment, from the crown to the manifestation or to the kingdom. So the same thinking, where brother is that middle ground which holds both son and father.
And Vladimir, I do find that this this concept of the father being born from the son seems to have occurred in many places. I'm not exactly able to say right now, but it is as if the son is giving birth to the father. It's kind of convoluted, but I seem to have seen it in many places. The son giving birth to the father.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Before father was not father without the son, but once son was born, he became the father. Yeah,
Yeah, son
it
is
is
the father of the man. That kind of a
right.
thing.
Right. Yes, it was in Brahmanas, and this is also the sacred name Yahweh. Yod He Vav He is what we call Yehovah in the Jewish tradition, in the occultism. Yes, so Yod is the father. He is the environment into which father projects itself, the mother. Vav is the son, and next he, there are two he's. There's kind of cross from Yod to Vav is the vertical line, and horizontal are two he's. So the movement from Yod to he would be from the father to the mother, conception and conceivement, and then we come to the son. Son is born, and then son represents the family in the society as second he. So it's an authority of this creative act. And this is Sakha. He is actually the one who is the helper, the servant of the night. So the servant of the night in the cards, I mean, I'm speaking about occultism. So it's quite interesting. Yod Hi Vav Hi, this rotation is father, mother, son, and authority of the family. And again, and if we rotate in the other direction, so we will go from father to death, dying, then reborn as the son in the mother. So we have two rotations, yeah. It's an occultism, but interestingly, they operate by these four. Here, mother is not mentioned, but what is mentioned is that we aspire to you for brotherhood. Interesting. That thou mayst be their brother by their achievement of works, and thou illumines the body with thy light. This brother is mysterious, of course. Anyhow, thank you for today. We will close here and we'll take next time, next verse, number 11. Agni here is becoming Aditi. And we have Bharati, Ila, and Saraswati. He is also all these three rivers. We will look into them. Okay, I will close that mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santo Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Anna is saying Bharya wife is related to Bharatri, brother, Bharatri, brotherhood, thus becoming wifehood. Bharya is an interesting word because it is the one who is to be carried, who is to be supported, who is to be, you have to bear her with her, so to say.
That's interesting because I read somewhere in Egypt, wife and sister were actually the same word. That's interesting. Wife and sister meant the same. Depending on context, they would use different word, the same word.
We need to look into etymology, what it says, what it does. Yes, why they called sister and wife. Most probably like Bharya. Bharya is the one to be supported. And Bharata is the supporter, the husband. Bharya is the to be supported, the wife. So it could be wifehood. Very good. Instead of brotherhood, wifehood. And actually, you shocked me because this one more last drop. The motherhood and the psychic beings and the brotherhood as fraternity is built on the psychic love. And the mother is connected to the psychic. It is she who builds this brotherhood. It is through the mother that we can love each other only, not through the father. Interestingly, it is in the womb of the mother as the universe that the oneness is manifested. And only through her we will arrive at this psychic love, which is brotherhood. So brotherhood and motherhood, in this sense, are very closely related. They are holding all for us, the whole environment in which we can manifest our relations as sons of the Father. It's that vertical line, yeah, on the ground of which everything is manifested. It shocked me because the psychic presence in the heart is the presence of the mother, as Sri Aurobindo explains. And he is the presence above the head. So these two are necessary for integral yoga. So through the heart, mother manifests her forth. So it could be brotherhood as motherhood. Thank you, Anna. That was unexpected touch. All right, so thank you all and see you then next time. Yeah. Namaste.